Hey guys, it's Jan, and I just wanted to cover one of my favorite cars that I have right now that I've built. This is a Super FM Thundershot, basically, a body damper version, like you saw, and it's really solid. Probably one of the cars that I'd like to run on a speed technical circuit. And I just wanted to quickly cover what the things that I do whenever I actually set another one of these cars up, because Super FM is one of my favorite chassis. There's a lot of issues with it when you're actually gonna try and work on one of them. There's so much that you have to do, but I'll try and quickly cover them, and I actually want to do like a separate video for a proper build, basically reinforcing the front and also reinforcing the back, giving it a 3-point connection like you could see here. And I'll quickly go through what I've done with this car and then show you what it can do on the track. So this is a Super FM Thundershot that I have. The body is actually the lightweight body that you get from that is meant to be for Thundershot Mark II. What I've done is I've actually cut the body so that you could actually mount it on the Super FM, and then I've mounted it on the body damper system. I will take that apart and show you how it works. Although real quick, the way that I have my body damper system is mounted on an FRP like base, basically FRP frame for the body damper. The springs, I use springs, the harder springs, and in the middle I actually have a shim that's like a gray piece, like a polycap. Let me see if I'll have to show you a little bit closer. It's basically a spacer that you get from some of the kits, and I use that to hold the spring in place, so whenever it moves or it gets activated by the body damper, as it bounces up, it'll push it down and stay in place, so you don't actually have to go buy one of these caps right here that I have on my other car. This is also another Thundershot Thundershot body damper, but it's gonna be for a different video that I'll cover. Yeah, you won't have to go buy one of these because these are a little bit hard to find in the States, and you can do this. It's far cheaper to do, but it's a little bit heavier, yes. But it's, you know, it's, if you don't have one of those, you could use this and it'll be fine. It'll work just fine. And I'll continue on by taking this apart. Let's see what else we have under here. As you can see, if you're using like the body damper for the Thundershot Super FM, the setup is a little bit finicky. Well, actually a lot finicky. There's lots of stuff that when you're tuning that you're gonna have to take apart before you even get to what you need to do. But like, it's relatively, it's not that bad. It's still workable. On the body damper frame itself that I use, I get the popsicle FRP plate, and then on this hole I drill into it so that it's actually bigger, and then put what do you call these washers, not washers, I think, well, washers, and put them in so that they actually just grind metal to metal on the screw here. It's easier for them to move. You can grease them up too if you want to, but it's not really necessary. And you get the straights. You cut an FRP plate. I use a support. This is a Super X FRP plate here that I cut up. This is a separate part that I got from a different colored Super X FRP part. Basically the remainder of building one of these things right here, which I will cover in a different video because it's a little bit more time intensive and a little bit more complicated. And I have mass dampers here. Basically these are 4-gram weights last time I checked. And I'll get to the rest of the car. I have a Hyper-1 motor in here. I found that this is staying down on the track that I have set up here right now. I'm running a 4-to-1 gear ratio, and of course this hyperdash motor. Take it out. These are a little hard to find nowadays, kind of rare, and they actually, in the RPM range in terms of power, they fit in between a light dash and and the Hyper Dash 2 and the Hyper Dash 3. They fit right in between there. So if you have a car that's, you know, too slow on a Hyper Dash but like too fast on the Hyper Dash 2 or 3, if you don't want to change gears, or if you're stuck changing gears because you have like you know, you don't want to change too much, or you don't want to loosen the wheels, bushings, or whatever, and you could stick a Hyper Dash in there and it'll probably stick, because it's, you know, it falls right in between there. I use hex hole bearings. I'm not going to pull them out. I don't want to loosen the bushings. And then I changed the pinion that's supposed to go on the propeller shaft. I changed it to carbon because I feel like carbon will last longer and it actually holds the shaft much better. Now I'm gonna go on the front, cover 9mm. Cover the plates. I'm running 9mm on the lower position. I feel like it's much stiffer and it's better for cornering when you set your car up this way. I have them on both sides. Whenever I build a car, I try to match the lines from the top of the stabilizer in the front to the back here, and pretty much the same here, but like this one I mounted a lot lower just so that it prevents the back from catching too much. This is a carbon plate, as you can see, Japan Cup 2013. I have another carbon plate under here. This is a 3mm carbon plate, hard to find nowadays too. They're really good. It keeps the bumper very stiff, and it's really good for cornering. And I have an underguard right here mounted on the plate that's mounted on the bumper, and the bumper is another like topic that I want to cover later on, and it's gonna be more intensive, which you'll see at some point once I get around to making that video. You basically drill like 4 holes onto the bumper. By default, the Super FM bumper will not have those 4 extra holes on the bottom. You mount an FRP plate like that is shaped like this one right here under it, and then you drill through the 4 holes in the center, and that'll give you a chance to actually mount a plate under the bumper, and then you could stiffen up the bumper using that method. Then after that, we'll go to the back. This is the 3-point section of the Super FM setup. You basically mount you get a Super X FRP plate. That's an old FRP plate. And then you cut the wings off. When you cut them off, they're gonna look like this, right? This piece right here. It's gonna, you know, you hold on to that piece. As you can see, it's really perfect for holding mass dampers on the mass damper body frame assembly. You cut that off, and then you get this. It doesn't have to be the carbon one, but like there's what do you call it? A support basically on the back. This 3-point support that you could use for other chassis like TZX or VS or Super 2. You can mount it on the Super FM as well. You mount that in, you screw that in. You mount a plate like this on the back. This is the rear multi-roller setting stay. You screw that in, you mount that on top of this plate. Once you have that done, you screw holes onto the back cover of the gears on the back. Once you do that, you take it off, and then you you run screws under the what do you call it, the back cover of the gears. That's the easiest way for you to mount it without it being too fiddly when you're actually going to take it apart, so that you could actually put lock nuts or any or the more basic nuts. But these are I recommend using these because they will hold the assembly together better. And there's quite a few issues with the back too, but we'll cover that in the other video. Now we'll go with the wheels for now. I have the lighter weight, large diameter aluminum wheels. They're lighter than these. I don't exactly remember, but like how much these weigh in comparison to these, but they're quite a bit lighter. And there's worlds of difference in terms of like how much they weigh and like how much better acceleration is that you're gonna get from these wheels compared to these ones. These are more stable, you know, for bounces, but this car, like a car with this comparison to that, will be much quicker on like acceleration and cornering because the car will be lighter. And I have trim tires. These trim tires I actually got from Tang. I will link to his channel if I could find him, you know, if I could get his permission. I probably will. He's probably gonna be okay with that. But yeah, he trimmed these tires for me, and these are really good, and they've been helping the car stay down. Well, this one's not, you know, it'll, once I have the body damper, you can see that it was much more stable that way. But yeah, he was the one who worked on trimming these tires for me, and he's been pretty good about them. Let's see, cover the back. I run 19 millimeters on the back because they're narrower than if you're using 13s or 9 millimeters at the edges. They actually run at around like 103, I think, or 103 millimeters width, or 104 and a half. I'm not 100% sure. They all fit. The 19 millimeters I feel like will help you prevent like catching at the edges of the car when you are actually racing around on the track. I feel like they're just safer when you're running the track. You have less risk of actually catching on the edges when you come off of a jump or some slopes. Let's see. The way that I have these staggered, I'm not sure if that actually helps, but having two separate pieces holding four rollers separately is like two rollers separately, I feel is much stiffer, and the transfer of momentum from the front to the back is actually better if you're running like this. Multi-roller settings stay on the back, and I have the popsicle carbon here on the bottom to hold these two rollers separately from these two on the top. And now I have the brakes here, and these are 1 millimeter. Let me go get that gauge. I need to actually change the brakes on this one. These are fading real quickly. Yeah, this brake is actually a 2 millimeter carbon brake. And I like the brakes. I like to use carbon on the brakes because it's stiffer, and a stiffer brake will actually hold the car down, hold the brakes to the surface better than, let's say, an FRP popsicle, because there's more surface area on this one. It's longer than the regular brakes, than the regular popsicles. Like this popsicle in particular. Let me show you how much longer it is. Yeah, that's a regular carbon popsicle, and this is the 2 millimeter one that's longer. What the longer popsicle does for you is it gives you more surface area for the brakes, and you know, more surface area for brakes means better slowing, basically better braking on the slopes, and that's always a good thing when you don't want your car to just keep flying off uncontrollably. Now we're gonna Oh yeah, of course. I'm running, Neo Champs. They make the car weigh a lot less than if you're running other batteries, like let's say the Eneloops. They're 37 grams, and converting to the Neo Champs basically gave me quite a bit of a weight loss, and it helps, in braking, cornering, and acceleration when your car is a lot lighter. Now we're gonna try and put it back and see if I can show you how this car performs. I haven't tuned this car yet for this particular track. Well, I have, but it's not tuned right now because the batteries are fresh. They just came off the charger. We'll see how it performs when I put it down in the track. Get these lock nuts in if I can. Let me get that in there. There you go. Put the washer in between the nut and the spring. And the cheaper version of getting one of those caps. It's more fiddly, but it works. Poor man's version of the caps. Let me get that a little tight, not too tight. Let me adjust the lock nuts again. Okay, let's go test it out. Okay, so this is the track. I have the track running under the sofa. This is where the start finish line is. And from under the sofa, you get into a slope, into a turn. Let's see if I can clear that. That's one of the more dangerous parts of the track. And from there on, you turn into the lane change, up onto a rise, a slope into 3 straights, curve, and then a slope down onto 2 straights, curve out, around, under it, back down, start finish. And then you get the slope up from 1 straight, around, back down into 2 straights, curve around under that, back down into this underpass under the couch, and into that slope again. Let's see how we can do this. Hopefully it sticks and I get a good time. Oh. Okay, now I'm gonna change the gears since, as you just saw, my car didn't stay down in the track. It just flew right off. Well, it stayed down a little bit for like, 0.2 seconds or something. I'm gonna gear down from the 4:1. The black on brown is 4:1 gear ratio. Then I'm gonna switch to the 4.2:1 to give it a, less top speed from that long straight. Let's see if it'll make some difference to anything. Maybe I think the worst part of this car right now is the brakes. There's really nothing on the brakes. All the pads are just worn out. And we're gonna go ahead and try this again. Get back to that start finish line. Switch hands. Okay. Ow. That actually hurts. Every time I catch this car, there's like some sort of feedback. It's like, oh, I hate you. Alright. 2485. I actually had a better time last night. 2472, but this is pretty good. So you can see the car stayed down just by changing the gears. Yeah, don't forget guys, you could always change gears. There's people who are lazy. Please change your gears in between runs if your car is not sticking. Don't just say, hey, I don't know why it's not sticking. Why don't I just drain the batteries? Change gears first. Okay. So there you have it. Super FM body damper Super FM Thundershot. Thanks for watching guys. Take care.